first time this season, we get a Lone Star showdown here at Minute Maid Park. The Astros trying to avoid a 4-game sweep by the Texas Rangers on getaway day. It's Brett Oberholzer, it's Yu Darvish, it's Astros baseball, and it starts right now.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Comcast Sportsnet brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today it's the finale of this homestand. The Astros take on the Texas Rangers. Good afternoon, Bill Brown and Alan Ashby. It's been all Texas Rangers in this series. They're going for a sweep of the 4-game set. They've been running off the wins. They're in first place in the AL West by 1 game over Oakland, Ash.
And they run out there today with their ace, Yu Darvish, and that never makes things easy. Witness game 2 of the season this year for the Astros against the Rangers. Yu Darvish went perfect for 8 2/3. So, yeah, really tough customer.
Today, the Astros will send left-hander Brett Oberholzer, a rookie with 2 straight shutout starts of 7 innings each.
And he's done it against a couple of very good offensive clubs, Baltimore and then Boston. You look at the numbers. If you're inclined to like a 0 ERA, then you just might like Brett Oberholzer at this point. He has been just perfect in terms of being a starter. As a reliever, he had his struggles. But here you see him against the Baltimore Orioles. And he will work that inside corner as well. Nice little change up for a strikeout. He can throw the fastball over bats. Brett Oberholzer, to this point, through 2 games, very promising as you head toward looking for a starting rotation of the future.
You talked about Yu Darvish and the gem he pitched here in game 2 of the season, perfect for 8 2/3. And Darvish is really atop the leaderboard in terms of strikeouts in Major League Baseball.
Yu Darvish also 3-1 lifetime against the Astros, so he's had his way against Houston. Over his last 4 games, he has been brilliant. 3-1, 137 ERA in that span, and a 191 batting average against. If you go on the season, right-hand batters are hitting 149 against Darvish.
Coming up, Bo Porter talks about his club. The Astros trying to capture this final game of the homestand before going on a 3-city road trip. He joins Julia Morales right after this.
Welcome you back to Minute Maid Park for some Lone Star baseball. The Rangers' last day in Houston for the season, and the Astros are trying to grab a win before Texas leaves town. The Astros coming off of a night off after a day game yesterday. More time for them to get over the tough loss that happened yesterday. Not any tougher for anyone than Dallas Keuchel, who pitched a very solid game against the Rangers and came within 1 out of pitching the club's first complete game of the season. And he showed his disappointment after the game, saying we just have to become better baseball players. We have to get better. We have to become more knowledgeable. He said talent-wise, we're there. We know we can win games. And the Astros have dropped 5 straight. They're trying to avoid this sweep from the Texas Rangers. And Bo Porter, the skipper, has expressed his frustrations as well, but he did say this club shows up every day ready to play.
The effort is there. I mean, that's, I think, you guys have asked me that question 100 times, and I'll give you the same answer 100 times, because the effort is something that is not ever going to be compromised. I think that there's, segments of the game in which we just need to improve. And, we've been in ball games, we've had position to win ball games, but this is Major League Baseball. Nobody is walking away feeling like it's a moral victory. I don't believe in moral victories, in the first place. I mean, this is a performance-based league where you have to close games out and you have to win ball games. That's, at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
It's another tough task for the Astros today, facing Yu Darvish, who's been pitching very well as late. The guys in the booth talked about that. And like I mentioned earlier, trying to snap that 5-game losing streak. But last time the Astros won, Brett Oberholzer was on the mound, and he will be on the mound today. Coming up, we'll have first pitch and line was for you. Keep from here at Minute Maid Park. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Jack in the Box. Go big at a participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos for only $3.99 plus tax. This game is starting right now. Leones Martin getting in the batter's box. Starting about a minute early by the clocks in the stadium. He's on a 5-game hitting streak. And that pitch goes behind him as he squares around as if to bunt. That is ball 1 for Brett Oberholzer.
Yeah, just a bit inside, huh?
A little bit. Overholzer has walked 2 in 21 and 1/3 innings. Home plate umpire Ron Culpa walking around.
What a way to start the game. We got the home plate umpire shouting it out with guys in dugouts. Don't know that a warning was issued there. I hope not.
See one. Martin looks at that one. It's a ball. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. Martin drove in a run with the 9th inning single last night. Ron Culpa, Tom Hallion, Phil Cuzzy, and Chris Guccione are the umpires on this crew. Beats that one off his leg. And it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Martin has been a successful leadoff man lately. 3 for 13 in this series, 277 for the season with 6 homers, 27 runs batted in. This is his 14th straight start in the leadoff spot, and the Rangers have gone 12-1 in the first 13. Leads the majors with 10 bunt hits. That's ball 3, and it's 3-1 to the Cuban-born Leonys Martin.
I'm wondering if there's some residual effect from late yesterday in the ball game. Martin tried to bunt his way aboard in the 9th inning, I believe it was, when the Rangers had taken a sizable command at that point. And I'm just wondering if there are some angered Astros pitchers that might have led to that fastball being behind the hitter.
On Washington looking on. That was definitely the case yesterday when Texas had built up that 5-0 lead, and he tried to put one down. That's a foul ball. Well, the way the home plate umpire Ron Culpa took a little walk, maybe he was thinking along those lines as well.
Well, clearly there was some hollering coming out from the Rangers dugout, and I assume it was Ron Washington, but yeah, I wonder how many people might have taken note of that bunt attempt last night.
That one bounces up there for ball 4. Well, Martin draws the leadoff walk. The ball got away. Now he'll stay at first base after Carlos Corcoran retrieves it. Here's the lineup with Martin followed by Elvis Andrus, Ian Kinsler, Adrian Beltre, AJ Brzezinski, Alex Rios, Jeff Baker, Craig Gentry, and Jurickson Profile.
Brett Overholzer on the hill for the Astros today. ERA at 2.53. That's counting the games that he's pitched in relief, where he's had an ERA over the 7 mark. You can see he strikes out just over 5 per 9 innings. That whip, very, very good. The 2 starts, 14 shutout innings.
Throw goes over to first. Martin has 27 steals in 33 tries. Rangers as a team have stolen 87 bases. That's 3rd in the American League. Good numbers for the Cuban-born outfielder. 82% of the time he has been successful when he's tried to steal. He's going. Here's a throw from Corcoran and the tag by Elmore, and that gets him. Jake Elmore with the tag, and Corcoran throws out Martin, erasing him from 2 to 4.
Astros catching of late, making some great throws with runners going. Jason Castro and now Carlos Corcoran today. Pitch a little on the outside. That means you have to reach on the backhand and then make that exchange, and it was perfectly done by Corcoran.
Elmore with the tag, and now Carlos has thrown out 8 of 26 attempted base stealers. Pitch was ball 1 to Andrus. Andrus takes it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Andrus starting the day at 257. Hit his first home run since September 4th in this series. September 4th, 2012. It had been some 557 at bats between long balls. Andrus connecting Saturday night in the Texas 5-4 win. Andrus fouls that one away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Rangers are in the middle of the pack in runs scored. Here's the Astros defensively.
Carlos Corcoran behind the dish. Around the infield, Brett Wallace. Jake Elmore gets the start at second base with Jonathan Villar back in the fold at short. Matt Dominguez at third. In the outfield, Brandon Barnes flanked by Mark Krause in right and Robbie Grossman in left.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Andrus has hit .319 his last 23 games. And that one is a strikeout pitch. Overholzer breaks it down under his hands for out number 2.
Big breaking ball sweeping down and in, gets the strikeout. So far through a couple of hitters, you'd have to say Oberholzer's not as sharp as we've seen, but nobody on base and 2 outs for the lefty.
Ian Kinsler comes up next. Kinsler's been tailing off lately. He's hit .202 in his last 25 games. His average has dropped from .290 to the current .266. He has 10 homers. He's driven in 48. He rips one up the left field line into the corner. That lands softly and scoots on over deep into the corner. And Robbie Grossman gets it back in toward third on a 2-out double by Kinsler. 21st double for Ian this year.
Ian Kinsler a lot of the time will take pitches early in the count, but right here with 2 outs, nobody on base, I think he just flat guessed fastball, got it, and threw a good portion of the heart of the plate and hangs out the line shot.
The Rangers are 4th in total bases in the American League. Kinsler in scoring position for their cleanup man, Adrian Beltre. 21 doubles for Kinsler. Beltre's driven in 71. He's 2nd in the league in total bases and in hits. Beltre takes that one. That is strike 1 to Adrian with a .320 average, 4th best in the American League. He's gone deep 25 times. And with the OPS of 900, that ranks him 6th in the American League for Beltre. Beltre has 4 hits and 11 at bats in this series. Oberholzer makes him skip rope. It's 1-1. Beltre's been on a rampage since the 4th of July, hitting .376 with 11 homers, 29 runs batted in. And there he ranks 1 behind Miguel Cabrera for the hit lead in the American League. Cabrera's gone deep twice against Mariano Rivera in that Yankees series. That's very impressive. Not a good swing by Beltre. That makes it a 1-ball 2-strike count after the earlier pitch that made him skip rope. He didn't seem to have his heart in that swing. But Beltre has produced outstanding results against Astros pitching. .347, 4 homers, 9 runs batted in. Rangers have really had the Astros number, winning 10 and losing 2 against Houston. And going back further, they've won 24 of their last 29. In tight to him, and it's 2-2. And this is something that Oberholzer is persisting at, and to his credit, working inside on right-handed hitters. Sometimes a young left-hander will come to the big leagues and fail to do that. Beltre with 57 2-strike hits, still a threat. He hits that one foul and out of play, first base side. Yeah, there's been a lot to like about Oberholzer since coming into the Astros rotation. With 2 starts of 7 innings and no runs allowed. Didn't walk anybody in his 7 innings of 3-hit shutout ball at Baltimore, winning that one 11-0. Last time out, beating John Lackey in Boston 2-0 with 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball. 2 walks in that one. And foul ball. Well, a good try by Carlos Corcoran. He caught it on the short hop and tried to run out of there and do a deep job on strike 3.
I would guess most 4-man umpiring crews may not buy into that move by Carlos. Yeah, let's leave the field. I like that.
It's worth a shot.
Brett Oberholzer has shown as a youngster that he's got a well-developed changeup, slider, and curveball to go with it.
That's hit well to left center field, headed out for the bullpen fence, and that'll drive in the first run of the game. 1-0 Rangers. RBI double for Beltre. Another 2-strike delivery for the cleanup man for RBI number 72. That's his 25th double.
Well, it's a tough part of the order the Texas Rangers present. Adrian Beltre right now the key guy in this batting order. And even with the breaking ball, once you get to that deep part of the count, pretty good breaking ball down, and yet good hitter Beltre wins out.
Beltre was hitting .431 for his previous 13 games. He remains hot and provides the first run today, and He's in scoring position now for A.J. Pierzynski. Pierzynski loops one, and that finds a landing zone in right center field to make it 2-0 Rangers. 47th run batted in for Pierzynski. 3 consecutive 2-out hits help the Rangers to an early lead.
We've talked about Pierzynski and his success against left-hand pitching this year, and he just continues that. Doesn't hit it hard, just hits it where they ain't. Nothing you can do about a base hit like this. Finally, Oberholzer has yielded some runs as a starting pitcher.
Alex Rios brings an 11-game hitting streak into this one. 281 is his average. He's gone 4 for 7 in this series, his first 2 games as a Ranger. 12 homers, 57 runs batted in after arriving in the trade from the Chicago White Sox. Rios takes a look at it, and it is ball 1 to him. Rios replacing Nelson Cruz as the Rangers' everyday right fielder after Cruz began serving his 50-game suspension. Rios takes a look at that, and it's a strike to even the count at 1-1. It's going to be interesting to see how Rios fares in this Texas lineup. He's going to a terrific hitter's park in Arlington and joining a good lineup and picking up a lot of games in the standings, leaving the last place White Sox and moving to the first place Rangers. That sometimes can energize a player. 1-2.
I would think it'd be an ideal fit for Alex Rios and for the Texas Rangers. This guy's shown in the past he's capable of hitting 300, hitting 25+ bombs, and he can steal the bags. Good defensive outfielder.
He gives the Rangers an upgrade defensively over Cruz. That's strike 3. And the Rangers strike for 2 on 3 hits. They leave a man in the first. They give you Darvish a 2-0 working room. Trying to snap a 5-game losing streak with this lineup. Robbie Grossman left field, Mark Krause right field, Brett Wallace first base, Chris Carter DH. Matt Dominguez third, Carlos Corcoran catcher, Brandon Barnes center field, Jake Elmore second base, Jonathan Villar shortstop.
Right-hander Yu Darvish on the hill, one of the tough ones in all of Major League Baseball. Get a load of that batting average by the right-hand hitters against him. 149. The lefty's not having a great time of it, but yeah, that's phenomenal at this stage of things. 149, 11-5 on the year. Excellent ERA at 272. When this guy's healthy and feeling it, you are in for a tough day. Defensively for the Texas Rangers, behind the dish, A.J. Pierzynski. Around the infield, Jeff Baker, Jurickson Profar, Elvis Andrus, and the RBI machine, Adrian Beltre at third base, and a Gold Glove maker. In the outfield, Leonis Martin in center, flanked by Alex Rios in right, and Craig Gentry in left.
Robbie Grossman leads it off for Houston. And the left fielder has hit in 11 of his 13 games since rejoining the Astros from AAA Oklahoma City July 27th. He's hit .367 during those last 13. But he's had a tough time in this series. Robbie takes strike 1. He is 1 for 13 in the Rangers series. Batting average 250 for the year. 3 homers. He's driven in 12. Has an on-base average of 344. Beltre even with the edge of the grass and off the line at third. Darvish has so many different pitches. It becomes really a choice for him. On each batter, he has so many different things he can throw up there, Ash.
Different angles. Does it from the stretch. That's what he has settled in on. But again, the way he dominates right-hand hitters in particular, he just makes it so tough. And you would think at this stage every team would try to load as many left-hand batters in there as possible, and yet they will have their struggles.
He's 3-1 lifetime against the Astros with a 3.03 ERA. And gets a strikeout on Grossman, looking on the breaking pitch for out number 1.
Robbie apparently thought this pitch was low, but that's a good looking breaking ball. Easily at the knees, and once again Robbie Grossman gets caught peeking on the third strike.
Mark Krause is in that lineup. You talked about the left-handed bats doing much better against Darvish. That's one reason he's in there, batting second. He works the count. Darvish has walked 50 in 146 innings. Krause at 174, 3 homers, 10 runs batted in, trying to get something started here. He has gone 4 for 10 with a homer against Texas pitching this year. Darvish throws in at strike 1.
See, there's your leadoff fastball, but what he does is he puts a little cut on it at the last instant. Now, he's not throwing real hard here yet this afternoon, but he just darts the ball back and forth and spots it in great locations.
Inside to Krause.
Very willing to work the inside edge.
Darvish will turn 27 in 4 days. Last year he went 16-9 as a Ranger with a 3.90 ERA. Fastball zips by Krause to make it 1-2. Krause is tops on the Astros club in pitches per plate appearance, 4.36. Brett Wallace on deck. Darvish spent some time on the disabled list with a right trapezius strain in July. Since he came off the DL, he's made 4 starts. He's gone 3-1 with a 1.37 ERA. This is his 4th start of the year against the Astros. The last time he faced them in Texas, July 6th, he lost the game 9-5, giving up 5 runs in 6 innings. He gets a swing and a miss from Krause, and Przinsky throws to Baker at first to complete the strikeout.
Just another breaking ball, and you get the sense that Darvish knows early on that he doesn't have the great fastball at this point, but he bends that breaking ball in the dirt, gets the swing on it, and back-to-back strikeouts to start things.
And with 2 strikes, he's gone more and more to the breaking ball this year, 57.3% of the time.
Looking at some numbers on you, Darvish, the fastball is actually up a bit on the average over last year. A bit surprising there. But he can turn in a number of directions when he's scuffling with one pitch.
Strike to Brett Wallace. He really can. He has many options. Wallace has hit in 8 of his last 11 games, 219 for the season. 9 homers, 24 runs batted in for Wallace. 0 for 9 in this series. Darvish lets up on it and gets in front. No balls, 2 strikes. Darvish is coming off a win 8-3 at Anaheim Tuesday. He gave up 3 runs in 7 innings. Runs that one away to create a 1-2 count for Wallace with Chris Carter on deck.
On the 0-2, Darvish goes to a bit of a slide step to hurry things toward the plate and brings the fastball at 95.
Yeah, he does have multiple looks, doesn't he? Different pitches, different type of delivery angles. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I would say that curveball in the dirt with 2 strikes is intentional, and he got the little swing from Krause. Wanted another here from Wallace.
After Darvish pitched in Japan, the Rangers signed him as a free agent, 6-year deal, $60 million, and they also paid a posting fee of $51.7 million as he replaced lefty C.J. Wilson in their rotation. Full count now to Wallace.
A lot of money, but this guy is proving to be nothing but a winner.
That's strike 3. Darvish strikes out the side, and the Rangers lead it 2-0 after 1. After 1, time now for our Geico quote. It comes from the Rangers skipper Ron Washington, the most successful manager in their team's history. That guy Saturday, Peacock and Keuchel, they're going to pay dividends down the road. They've got to straighten out a few things, and they will before long. And Dave Magadan, the hitting coach, also suitably impressed, as he said, around the batting cage by those 2 starters.
One thing everybody's going to be impressed about is the way they both work the inside edge. A lot of pitchers will stay away, but I'll tell you what, the Astros' young pitching is doing a great job, and a lot of the credit goes to the catching Both Castro and Corcoran love to work that inside edge.
Jeff Baker leads it off now in the second inning. That's strike one over the outside corner to a 305 hitting Baker with 9 homers, 17 runs batted in a platoon with Mitch Moreland at first base. That's a drive to center field. Brandon Barnes backing on it. And it's out, number 1. Been a good platoon from Baker's standpoint because he has been bashing left-handed pitching this year.
Yeah, when you can get his bat against the left-handers, you've got one half of a very good combo.
Greg Gentry, the batter next. Gentry in left field. 243, 1 homers, 13 runs batted in. He's 1 for 11 in this series, but the outfield coverage with these 3 should be excellent for the Rangers. There's ball 1. With Gentry, who's played a lot of center field and left, Rangers have a premium defender there. And Martin, one of the best throwing center fielders we've seen, can go get him as well. Gentry's late on that one, and then the right fielder Rios is well above average, and he has 9 outfield assists. Martin has 7 outfield assists. Foul back, and it's 1-2. You know, we've liked the tempo of Oberholzer, and we noted that on Dallas Keuchel last night. There you see the breakdown on Gentry, 272 against left-handers. They're setting a nice pace.
Yesterday's game was beautiful to watch. I thought the 2 pitchers combined with Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire, just really set it up for an enjoyable game.
And a quick ball game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yesterday's game time was 2 hours 24 minutes. Texas won it 6-1. So Texas goes for a sweep of this 4-game series. Rangers have won 7 in a row overall. They're 68-50 with a 1-game lead over Oakland atop the AL West. And the Rangers have picked up Adam Rosales on a waiver claim from the A's again. It's the 2nd time they've done it. Strikeout for Oberholzer. That's number 3 for Brett.
You know, we've talked about the changeup, and that's what this is. Leaving Gentry out in front. Just kind of reaching, trying to see if he could get a piece.
Jurickson Profar, the second baseman, with a 243 average, has 4 bombs. He's driven in 19, 2 for 12 in this series for the native of Curacao. Profar's a switch hitter, hitting 190 right-handed. He takes a look at that, and Oberholzer has fallen behind him 1-0. The Rangers will go back home now for an 8-game homestand with games against Milwaukee, Seattle, and Houston. That's in for a strike, 1-1. They've had a whale of a road trip, going 8-1. And they now have the best road record in the American League on a 7-game road winning streak. They've gone to 35-26 away from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. That's close. Might have been a strike yesterday. 2 balls and a strike. There was a good low strike zone yesterday.
I've already seen 1 low strike called in this sequence, but this one a little bit too low to be able to call there.
That was.
I would think that the good starting pitching that the Rangers bring, as well as their solid bullpen, would play well at home and on the road. But these are not, again, the same Texas Rangers we've seen in years gone by, where they just slug it. And I think that plays well at the ballpark in Arlington.
Well, their record at home is just about the same as it is on the road. If they have made Minute Maid Park a home, they've won 8 straight in this ballpark and 18 of 21. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And reaching back in the last 36 games, the Rangers have won 29 of those from the Astros. They've already captured the season series with their 10-2 record in a 19-game series. That's ball 4. Profar taking a walk. The second of the day for Oberholzer. And Martin will bat. Profar is 0 for 3 in base stealing. He looks across the diamond at his third base coach with Martin stepping up. He led off the game with a walk, and then he was thrown out trying to steal. Now the Rangers have once again claimed Adam Rosales on waivers from the A's. He's been going back and forth between those two teams like a ping pong ball. Strike. In fact, we were hearing that he still has his bats with the Ranger ball club because he had been claimed and he had been here very briefly, but then Oakland reclaimed him on waivers, and they're not sure how long he's going to be with the Rangers now. Swing there, and 0-2 for Martin because Lance Berkman continues his injury rehab assignment. Lance was 1 for 4 as a DH for Round Rock last night. The Rangers are hoping to get Lance back with them by Friday, and at that point they would have to open up a roster spot, and that might involve Rosales again.
It's got to be a joy to be a utility infielder.
Swing by Martin, and he strikes out. That's number 4 for Overholzer. It's no runs and a man left, and it's 2-0 Rangers.
Astros 0. Back by popular demand. Friday, August 23rd is Dollar Dog Day at Minute Maid Park. Enjoy $1 hot dogs all game long as the Astros take on the Blue Jays. Top the night off with spectacular post-game fireworks. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com for tickets. Guys.
A lot of munching right now, Julia, as Chris Carter comes up, the DH. Those guys are the DEs, designated eaters. Carter at .213 with 21 homers leads the club. He has 54 runs batted in and taking that pitch for ball 1.
I think I just discovered there is an area in which I haven't lost any skills. I could be a DE.
You could be a DE. Well, you guys will be munching away on that long flight to Oakland. Let's look back at the long ball yesterday from Carter.
After hitting one off the scoreboard in left field, he didn't quite get the first one, but he got this one pretty good. Just nice, short, quick swing, and that's all it takes for Chris.
Well, he's homered in back-to-back games now for the 6th time in his career. And lately he has 20 walks in his last 32 games as well. That's in for a strike at 90 for Darvish.
I'm not sure with all the strikeouts that have occurred along with those walks you mentioned how valuable that walk category is if it means he's going to be patient to the extreme that we've seen of late.
In the air and foul out of play. Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, for me, Chris Carter's got to be a guy that looks for a pitch, tries to juice it when given the opportunity. Use the field when you can. We've seen that he can do that, but when he stands and watches strikes, I'm not sure it serves him well.
His 21 homers are the most by an Astro since 2010 when Hunter Pence hit 25 and Carlos Lee 24. That breaking pitch is foul back. Darvish has surrendered 18 long balls in 146 2/3 innings. He leads the league in strikeouts, 3 today, giving him 195. And he is second in batting average against. 193 is the batting average against Yu Darvish. Carter puts it in the air to right field. Rios coming in. Second baseman Profar out, giving way. 1 out.
Darvish shaking his head like he's not happy with something at this point. Getting to that 3-2 count may not have been his goal.
Has high standards.
He should, with what he's done so far in the big leagues.
He's given up just 102 hits, and there you see the strikeouts. 195 ahead of Felix Hernandez and Matt Harvey for the major league lead. Matt Dominguez batting 5th again today. He's been elevated in the lineup. Strike 1 to a 229 hitting Dominguez. 14 homers, 56 runs batted in. Since 1900, The only pitchers born outside the U.S. who led the majors in strikeouts are Fernando Valenzuela and Johan Santana. No balls, 2 strikes, and that's the position of Darvish right now.
Only Max Scherzer, with his terrific season, has been tougher in terms of the batting average against. That by a point.
Darvish was born in Japan. That's out to right center field. Martin moving over for it. Out number 2. Julia.
Hey, Brownie, Carlos Corporon coming up now for the Astros, and he's been in there 2 days in a row. That's because Jason Castro needed a couple of extra days off after Friday night. He's feeling the effects after a collision. This one right here at home plate. It was Alex Rios coming home to score. He charged and made enough contact here with Castro to dislodge the ball from Castro's mitt there. Sore hip is what we're being told about. Yep, you see it right there.
Yeah.
Why he's hurting, and just needed a couple extra days. He said he should be good to go tomorrow.
Landed hard on that right hip as the ball was dislodged. So Corp gets another start, hitting .245. And sharp ground ball goes to Baker. That's 6 straight for the man who threw 8 2/3 perfect innings here in his first start of the year and has a 2-0 lead.
This moment in history is brought to you by MD Anderson, making cancer history. August 12th of 1974, Nolan Ryan strikes out 19 in a 4-2 win over the Red Sox. He breaks the American League record of Bob Feller and ties Major League's record of Steve Carlton and Tom Seaver. Those are some pretty good names to join. Of course, Nolan Ryan would prove to be the greatest strikeout pitcher of all time. And a longtime Astro, and certainly deserving of having that number retired up atop the stadium.
And he was here for the last couple of games of this series. Now he must have gone back to work on this Monday.
Oh, he was working the last couple. With all the folks hanging around him, he was working hard.
He was. Elvis Andrus struck out in the first inning. That's a fly ball to center field. Barnes waiting for a 1-pitch out for Oberholzer. Now, apparently the Rangers reclaimed Adam Rosales due to Leori Garcia being named the player to be named later in the Alex Rios trade. Ian Kinsler the batter now. Kinsler doubled to left and came around to score on a Beltre double. Oberholzer started his career by going 16 innings without a walk. Second longest such streak in Astros history, behind Dave Veers. Ball 1 to Kinsler. Veers began his career with 16 2/3 consecutive scoreless, walkless innings, rather, 1994. He was a relief pitcher. Two balls, no strikes. These two teams will be meeting in Arlington, Texas. Now the infield shifts around with a count 2-0. More to the pull side. Elmore over on the shortstop side of the bag, but it's in the air to right field. And Krause has it. 2 outs.
You know, it works out as Kinsler puts it in the air toward right field, but you could see what Ian Kinsler, a veteran hitter, quality hitter, did immediately. When that shift went on, he said, well, okay, I'll go ahead and hit it to right field. He just simply put it in the air.
Adrian Beltre, after his RBI double in the first inning, is hitting .457 on this road trip for the Rangers, going 16 for 35. Really quite a threat both ways, as you mentioned, with the glove as well as the bat. And a real leader on this Ranger club. Elmore's out in shallow right center, and it's a 5-pitch third inning for Oberholzer. 2-0 Rangers.
Rangers. Sports Talk Live will, with Kevin Eschenfelder, wrangles up some noteworthy sports guests that have plenty of buzzworthy opinions and analysis. On today's show, the panel will be Jerome Solomon and Lance Zerline, and guests will include Eric Young and Travis Johnson. Tune in to Sports Talk Live today at 5 p.m. guys.
EY is going to be on Sports Talk Live.
EY.
We'll be tuning in for sure. And Kevin himself was out here. It's a day game, so he got a chance to come out for a little while before going to work. And Darvish now in the bottom of the third inning brings a 2-0 advantage, and he has retired all 6 men he has faced through the first 2. There's Kevin himself saying hello to photographer Bill Baptiste.
I wonder if he's figured out how to do the moonwalk so he can compete with EY.
Well, it's very difficult to compete with EY. Brandon Barnes, the batter. That's strike 1 to Brandon, who's hit 3 of his 6 home runs against Ranger pitching. With a .240 average and 25 runs batted in for Brandon. 2 hits in the series. Ranger pitchers have been very sturdy this season, with the 4th best ERA in the American League, 3.65. And their ranks have been bolstered by the acquisition of Matt Garza. So in this series, they threw Garza Friday night, Derek Holland Saturday night, and then a very impressive Martin Perez at age 22 yesterday, and now Darvish. It's a difficult 4 games for the hitters, and that's strikeout number 4 for Darvish.
Well, this slider had its way with Brandon Barnes here. You can see maybe it starts near the outside corner, but when it's all said and done, that's just an at bat you want to forget.
Jake Elmore hopes to have an at bat to remember right here. Elmore at .247 with 2 homers has driven in 6. That's a tough challenge, as you indicated. Right-handers hitting .149 against Darvish. He delivers strike 1. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
I would think as a right-hand hitter, if you can get something straight early in the count, that's what you want to be sitting on and just try to bust.
Elmore is 0 for 3 against Darvish. What a play there. Beltre was drawn in. Takes care of out number 2. That ball was lashed right at him, went down to his knees and picked it cleanly with a glove hand.
Jake Elmore has a quick bat, but Adrian Beltre made a pretty good living, aside from the fact that he's a great hitter. Made that living defensively as well. He is terrific.
Very slick by the 34-year-old veteran who won his 4th Gold Glove last year.
And he's hard to tag when coming into third base.
Jonathan Villar has returned to the starting lineup today. Villar takes ball 1, .245, no homers, 1 RBI. You're referring to that play yesterday at third, in which he was caught in a rundown and he just took off for the left field corner.
Come tag me if you can.
1 ball, 1 strike. Villar has been out with a sprained left thumb, and it doesn't bother him batting left-handed. It does bother him batting right-handed, so he has not played against the 2 lefties who started the last 2 games. And Villar also had sat out the Friday night game. So now back in, and he has a 2-1 count. Villar is somebody who does bunt. Beltre in on the grass at third. And Baker is shortened up at first as well. He's even with the base there. That's a strike call, and it's 2-2.
Adrian Beltre is a guy who's going to take the bunt away from a lot of guys. Just not going to challenge him. But I think Jonathan Villar has shown that he almost has no fear in any situation. I would never be surprised who he would bunt on.
Darvish gets strikeout number 5. He is perfect through 3 and has a 2-0 lead.
August 23rd for our next big and bright Friday night. The Astros take on the Toronto Blue Jays at 7:10. Stick around after the game for the best fireworks show in town, presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com for tickets, guys.
Look forward to it August 23rd against the Toronto Blue Jays. What are we listening to? Opera music, Ash?
I think that's your music there, Brownie.
It sounded great.
I think they have gone into your car and.
Oh, that's the wacky walk-up selection, Ave Maria, by Luciano Pavarotti for A.J. Pierzynski.
Does he have a wacky selection that he?
Well, we can only guess. He took strike one, so Pavarotti put him in a hole. And now 0-2. So Luciano has fallen behind in the count, 0-2. Pierzynski delivered a run-producing single in the first inning. So if he makes an out, that's on Luciano, right?
That's the only way I could call it.
How many guys do you think have Opera as their walk-up selections? He punches one toward the left field corner. That's going to be a foul ball.
Well, he was within a foot or so there of everybody wanting to have it. Opera gets you the extra base hit. I'll try it. And this line shot didn't miss by a whole lot.
No, it did not.
Luciano Pavarotti would have been proud.
One of the great opera singers of all time.
I wonder if AJ even noticed that was being played as he came to the plate. What do they think I am, Bill Brown?
He was deep in thought. Pitch inside, 1-2. It is 2-0. The Rangers got 2 in the first inning, and with 2 outs, they started a rally. Kinsler doubled, Beltre doubled in a run. Pierzynski singled in a run. Bill Brown, Alan Ashby, Julia Morales, talking heads. Fly ball over shortstop, and that will loop in for a hit. And Luciano Pavarotti is 2 for 2 in this game.
Guy could always hit.
Career,
Defense was questionable.
Career 1,000 average for Luciano. That's hit number 4, and now it's Alex Rios batting. Rios struck out looking in the first. Well, 2 of those 3 talking heads will be getting on the plane heading toward Jeff Blum. He may already be in Oakland by now.
Where will you be headed?
Home.
I know you've got some golf or something coming up this week.
There might be something along those lines. In the air on the right side and foul. Brett Wallace coming over. That's out number 1 for Brett Oberholzer. These Astros starting pitchers, the last 11 starts have combined for an ERA of 3.69, and they've had 7 quality starts in the last 11. And in fact, since July 12th, 3 rookie starters currently in the rotation have each done very well. Oberholzer, Brad Peacock, and Jared Cosart have a combined 1.35 ERA in their 9 combined starts in that span. Jeff Baker, the batter.
Yeah, that group is not to be blamed for any difficulties of late.
So there you have it. Last 11 games. Their record is 2-4, but the ERA really much better than that. And of course, this club has been victimized by late inning problems. Good numbers though for the starters. Swing there by Baker takes the count to 0-2.
Starters have now moved from last place in the American League in terms of ERA to 13th, and it's a nice move forward. They're in front of Minnesota and Toronto in that regard. Toronto Blue Jays spent a lot of money to bring some pitching in this year.
Didn't they though? Mark Burley and Josh Johnson, R.A. Dickey. 1-2. Now Baker coming into this game had 11 hits in his last 29 at bats against lefties. And for the year, he's hitting .361, 8 homers, 14 runs batted in against lefties in just 61 at bats. Very impressive numbers for Baker. And he fouls that one back. Tomorrow night, you guys in Oakland. You'll be on the air, by the way, Ash, in case you haven't yet checked.
I just hate the way you use that term, you guys, but go ahead.
8:30. 8:30, that's Houston time. So that will be 6:30 your time in Oakland. Just trying to be helpful. And you'll have Jordan Lyles and Bartolo Colon.
You are nothing if not helpful.
And Mr. Jeff Blum should be raring to go. In the air, and that's hooked foul into the seats to keep the count of 1-2.
Now Jeff Blum has been honing his resting skills of late, and those are the pitching matchups coming up. Jordan Lyles really has some work to get turned around, and love to see him be back in that strike zone come tomorrow night. You know Bartolo Colon will be. Jared Cozart and Eric Bedard, those two have been throwing the ball well.
Those are the matchups, and newcomer Sonny Gray has entered that rotation for the Oakland A's.
The very confused weatherman for the A's.
That's a swing and a miss, and his strikeout number 5, and Oberholzer is hanging right in there after giving up 2 in the first.
High cheese and blows it by. You know, when you're feeling real frisky as a hitter, feel like you can handle anything, and you just let it fly early. That high fastball so difficult to get to.
Well, Baker is retired for the 2nd time, and Craig Gentry bats next. Gentry struck out earlier on a 2-2 pitch. That's grounded foul. Oberholzer has already achieved a piece of Astros club history. He's the first pitcher to hurl 7 or more scoreless innings in his first 2 major league starts. And in fact, he's the first pitcher to do that in the big leagues since September of 1980, when the Phillies right-hander Marty Bystrom hurled 9 innings and 7 innings, both with scoreless results, in his first 2 major league starts. 1-1. As those 1980 Phillies were on a collision course with the Houston Astros for the league championship series that year.
Took 163 games for Houston to get there and face the Phillies, and that kind of messed things up. Joe Niekro had to pitch 163 in LA, and a huge victory, one of the great ones for the organization. Had a chance to win that series though with the Phils.
Yeah. 1-2, and then you had to fly to open the series in Philadelphia. Yep. So you had to go from LA.
Yep.
And your timing was all off because of that extra game, so you had no rest for game 1. That made
nonetheless, the Astros took a 2-1 lead in that best-of-5 series, and we were playing in the Astrodome and had leads late in games 4 and 5 and saw them get away.
Over toward the line, Mark Krause coming. Krause makes the running catch. It's no runs, a hit, and a man left. Oberholzer keeping it close, 2-0 Rangers after 3.5. Ball, we have time for trivia. Today's trivia is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Prior to Yu Darvish, who was the last starting pitcher to be named as an All-Star in his first 2 seasons?
I may be going back too far with that one. I have an old ex-Tiger of the 70s in mind, but I have a feeling it's much fresher than that.
Ex-Tiger of the 70s.
Oh,
okay.
come on, Bernie.
Bobby Grossman leads it off.
Mark the Bird.
Oh, well, I was going to suggest Fernando Valenzuela, but that is probably going too far back also, right?
I don't know.
Fernando is wrong.
Is we need to find out. Is that too far back in the Wayback Machine?
It's
okay.
about the right era. It was a little bit after Fernando. So your guess would be a good one.
Well,
no, you'd be going further back.
Mark Fidrich is too far back.
Yeah, he's too far back.
He's already a fossil by the time this guy comes around.
Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Yu Darvish in select company there with the All-Star selections his first 2 years.
Well, I'm wondering about a guy with the Toronto Blue Jays, Dave Steve.
Oh, Dave Steve. That is not right either.
I would have thought Dave Steve had a chance to be that guy.
Let's see. How about Doc Gooden?
No, well, he's in the mid 80s though. Because
Yeah.
Gooden showed up. He was there for 86, as I recall.
Well, Fernando was 80 and 81.
Well,
right?
that's true.
That's
true.
Long after that.
Is it Doc Gooden?
We can't say because we haven't been told the answer yet.
A fellow named Dwight.
Dwight Howard?
Eisenhower?
Oh, no. Still 2-2.
I think you've nailed it.
A lot of talk about Dwight Howard in this city. Off the plate, and it's 3-2. By the way, have you heard the name Jose Abreu?
I have. What has that been in reference to lately?
It's in reference to perhaps the greatest Cuban slugger who might be playing Major League Baseball. He's just defected from Cuba, somewhere in the Caribbean, according to Twitter reports.
Greater than home run champion Yoenis Cespedes?
Well, yes, supposedly. That's strikeout number 6 for Darvish. First of all, the answer to this trivia question: last pitcher to be an All-Star's first 2 years. Oh, quite good. 1984.
You busted that one.
Just fell into it. But this Jose Dario Abreu is in the Caribbean, supposedly, according to reports. He's 26 years old. He hit 19 homers and 264 at-bats in Cuba, which doesn't tell you much. But in the World Baseball Classic, he was 9 for 25, 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. Mark Krause, the batter. He struck out first time. There's strike one. And supposedly, he is going to command top dollar on the free agent market when he becomes a free agent. And that could mean a package of $70 to $80 million, according to one report. And supposedly the Rangers and the Red Sox would be 2 clubs who might be going for him, because they have situations at first base requiring upgrading in the opinions of some, and they have the money to pay.
So this guy's a first sacker.
Yep.
Yeah, these teams, you talk about the Rangers and the Red Sox, they have some experience at this sort of dealing.
Strike 1 and 2.
I would assume no posting charge, or is there?
No, not for Cubans. It's not like Darvish in Japan, because he's not owned by any professional team. And according to reports, he has escaped Cuba, so that makes him completely free once he establishes residency in another country. In the air behind third base, this on the left field side is caught by Gentry. And that's out number 2, and that is 11 straight retired by Darvish. So that's a name to watch for somewhere down the road. Abreu. Fred Wallace was caught looking in the first when Darvish struck out the side. And Darvish is looking about like he did in game 2 of the season, Ash.
Yeah, I would say that the box score looks rather similar right now. Nary a base runner for Houston. I wonder if Darvish has allowed himself to consider the possibilities.
Well, he certainly was considering them back on the second game when he had that perfect game for 8 2/3, and Marwin Gonzalez hit that ground ball right by him for the only hit.
Classy reaction by Darvish at the time.
Really was. He had that smile on his face.
Yep. Everybody wants it, and when it doesn't happen, especially that close to the finish line, you have to be extremely disappointed. But he just reacted so beautifully.
Fastball, and it's 1-2.
That's a little more of what the Astros bats need to do right now, in my opinion. Air it out. Take some good swings. This guy's not going to pitch around anybody.
Well, Ron Washington took him out after that 8 2/3 inning start here, his 7-0 win on April 2nd, because of the pitch count. But he had no walks and 14 strikeouts in that game in 8 2/3 innings.
He was throwing harder that day. This afternoon, he hasn't had the gifted fastball. He can break it out once in a while. It's kind of been in that range, 91, 92. One time we've seen him light it up to 95, but he was steadily in that mid-90s range, as I recall, early on, that first start of his on the year.
Yeah, and the odd thing is that he has thrown fastballs only 39% of the time this year. Last year, he threw that fastball 49% of the time.
Is that a matter of maybe not feeling like he's throwing as hard, or that he's learned something?
Well, the results are certainly the same so far. Through 4 innings, perfect, Darvish, and a 2-0 Texas lead.
And join us Saturday, August 24th, as the Astros take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Be sure to get to Minute Maid Park early, as 10,000 fans will receive an orange home replica jersey, courtesy of Coca-Cola. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com for tickets. Brownie and Ash, just a quick update on Altuve, who is out today, and we kind of figured that would happen with Jonathan VR coming back in. Altuve needed a break with that left quad he's been dealing with, but he did tell me today that it does feel better today than it did 2 days ago. He even got in the ready position for me and moved around a little bit. Said he is available and hasn't been very good against Darvish. This is probably a good day for him.
There's strike 1 to Jurickson Profar, 2-0 Rangers. Profar drew a walk in the second inning. Yeah, Bo Porter talked with that about that with the media, and the fact that they're working with Jose Altuve to manage that injury a little bit better, and to learn when he can run sort of under control. When he tried to really bust it a couple of times, Ash. Unfortunately, when a guy's trying to nurse that injury, it almost seems inevitable that he has to try to go for an extra base or something, and I think that hurt him.
Crazy quirk of this game, but I think it's great news that he feels better today.
Barnes in center field.
Because of the fact he had to run so much and hard yesterday, if he got through that, it would seem he's moving in the right direction.
True.
Well, we want to remind you to tune in to Chevy Hometown Kids every Saturday morning at 9:30 on CSN. Chevy Hometown Kids, where it's not about the score, but the experience.
These kids are having a great experience. They'll be headed back to school soon. Now here is Leonis Martin, who walked and struck out. Around a bunt, and he takes strike 1. That brings in Dominguez at third. The Athletics have already won their game today. That's the only other day game. They won at Toronto 5-1 with a 4-run ninth. Taken for a ball. So the Athletics are now 67-50. The Rangers are 68-50. And the Rangers will need a win today to stay 1 game in front of Oakland. Big cut there, and it's 1-2 to Martin, as Ron Washington's club is in a race. Good race in the AL West.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Texas Rangers right about now have some pretty good respect for what they've seen with the young pitching from the Astros, the starting pitching in this series.
Bouncer up the middle. VR throws out the speedy Martin. 2 outs. Good play. He had to range pretty far to his left.
Because of the great feet of VR and the strong throwing arm, once he got to this ball, he still didn't have to rush. Winds up making it rather routinely. Takes the couple of extra hops and strong arm to get the out.
Elvis Andrus is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball to center. Ryan Cook was that winner for Oakland in relief. Go ahead.
My bad, Brownie. A talented young man at shortstop, and you can sure project him as a long timer at that position.
Yes, Bo Porter likes him very much. Strike 1 to Andrus. In that Oakland game, Dan Straley was the starter. He gave up 1 run in 7 1/3. And Jay Happ, rebounding from that that fracture in his skull, he pitched very well today for Toronto. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. But Casey Janssen lost it as Oakland came up with 4 in the 9th inning off him, the Toronto closer, and Cook was the winner to go 5-2. That Oakland club really pressing the Rangers. Chris Young hit his 10th home run, and that was in the first inning off Happ. So quite a race, but as you look around the standings, Ash, there are some non-races. In the AL West, it's really close at the top there, but some of these other divisions not close at all. And the primary example is the NL East. Atlanta leading second place Washington by 14.5 games.
Yeah, that will not be an intriguing final month of the season.
VR throws high, and Wallace is able to bring that throw down and put the tag on Andrus and make it a 1-2-3 fifth for Oberholzer and a 2-0 Texas lead.
Of the game, it's from LJ Hose, who is new to the Astros. He said, just ate some good food in Houston. I love this city. Hose with a day off today. Porter trying to get the left-handed bats in there, but he's played almost every day since being with the Astros, and good to hear he likes Houston, guys.
Well, you also are a relative newcomer to Houston, Julia.
Yes.
Do you find the food any different at all than your other stops in Texas?
Well, yeah, I'm a Texas girl, so I just like Texas food.
Yeah. Strike one to Carter. 12 straight have been retired by you, Darvish, but do you think the East Texas food is any different at all than up in North Texas or Central?
There's some good food in East Texas, and there's good food in Austin, Texas. I've found some restaurants that I really enjoy here, though, as well. I'm going to go blank right now, but I'm getting around. I'm learning.
Yeah.
I even tweeted about it the other day. I was like, if anybody has any recommendations, send them my way.
Oh, you'll get some.
I'm going to have to challenge Julia a bit. I've noticed she's been okay with food in other parts of the country as well.
1 and 2.
This is true.
So now when you think about Oakland, what's your specialty there, Ash?
Oakland.
For Julia, yeah.
Oakland.
Well, San Francisco, that's, you've got to go seafood there, Julia.
Right. I had seafood last time I was there with you.
Yeah.
We had some delicious fish.
We really did. What did we have anyway?
That was a long time ago, too.
That was months ago.
Early April.
Rock him out. That's number 8. Well, you'll come up with something along those lines. Fisherman's Wharf is nice.
Yeah, the fastball just gets thrown right on by here. But the thing about San Francisco is you can do ethnic variety while you're there for a few days.
Yeah.
Really great in that regard.
Well, you Darvish kind of has that flavor too. His father is Iranian. And look at those results for you, Darvish. Matt Dominguez takes ball 1 high. Dominguez hit a fly ball to center in the 2nd inning. Batters have swung and missed on 32% of their swings against Darvish this year. It's the highest rate against any major league pitcher who qualifies in terms of innings pitched. It's 2-0. Well, would you think of him? Not really as a Cy Young guy, right? He's 11 and 5, 2.72 ERA. What do you think, Ash?
No, I can't see the Cy Young going that direction this year. It's what I was going to say about you, Darvish, though, right here is if he is thinking at all, and he should be, about the possibilities this afternoon. He's put himself in a great spot with the 60 now 2 pitches, and that one was very close as he works in the 5th inning, giving himself a chance to maybe go deep and have a shot.
Well, he can't be perfect if he walks a guy, and he's behind 3-0.
Ooh. I would say same pitch that has been called ball a couple of times here with Dominguez at the plate, but a pitch that is right where the pitchers want it.
Now back by Domingo. It's 3-2 to Matt Dominguez.
Now, if you're talking Cy Young Award right now, for me in the American League, Max Scherzer with his 17 wins already, 1 loss. Not sure how you get by him.
No, you can't get by him. He has a 2.84 ERA. That's 6th best, 7th best in the American League. Slightly higher than Darvish, but those 17 wins speak loudly. That's strike 3. After falling behind 3-0, he gets his 9th punch out.
And as he picks up the strikeout, watch, he doesn't come with a 3-2 give-in fastball. He bends one in, and Matt Dominguez knew he had been had. That is part of what makes Darvish so difficult, is that he's not afraid to throw any pitch, any count, and he knows he could throw it for a strike.
That's 201 strikeouts for Darvish this year. And that might require some monitoring.
Young man's making solid contact.
Where's the parent in that row? Carlos Corbin, the batter, probably sitting right behind. There's ball 1. Corp grounded out to first base, hit the ball pretty sharply in the 2nd inning. We'll keep an eye on that group, by the way, for you. May have to send someone down. Big brother always watching these children at the ballpark to make sure they behave.
Cameras are everywhere, kids.
Brandon Barnes on deck. That's hit in the air toward the left field line. A long run for Gentry. It's slicing and it's foul. 1 strike. Well, we remember very well the electricity of that April 2nd game here with Darvish and his perfect game bid, taking that 2 outs in the 9th inning, and then Marwin Gonzalez broke it up with a sharp single up the middle, and that meant the exit for Darvish in his very first start of the year.
I was just about to ask you if Marwin's gotten the call yet this afternoon to get here to Houston as quickly as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Bouncer first and foul. Makes it 1-2. Yu Darvish did not have a complete game last year, and he does not have one this year.
Imagine that, and yet he can say he was 1 out away from a perfect game.
What a start he's made to his major league career, and he's not yet 27. Well, for a few more days, he's not 27. So where could this career go? He's 27-14 with a 3.39 ERA. 2 balls and a strike.
Turns to a splitter. He's got all the pitches.
He really does. He's got a changeup and a splitter and a cutter and a slider and a curve and a fastball. And there's ball 3. It's 3-2.
Apparently, as a kid, he had every toy he could possibly want.
In addition to that, he's 6'5". Corp will take a little walk. Well, that's one technique that hitters like to use when a guy is perfect. Through 4 2/3, make him wait a little bit.
Should an umpire allow that?
He gets a strikeout anyway. He strikes out the side in the 5th inning. Second time he's done that today. That's 10 strikeouts and a 2-0 lead. Darvish perfect through 5.
And be sure to join us tomorrow as the Astros head west to take on the Oakland A's. Coverage begins at 8:30 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet, your home of your home teams, guys.
Well, Julia, you were busy just now reading that promo. Well, we witnessed a marriage proposal up on El Grande, the big screen here, and a special moment, but he put the ring on her right hand.
Oh no.
Yeah, he did, Julia. Now they've switched it, but initially he went for the right hand.
They look happy.
So does that qualify as an official proposal when you mess up like that?
I guess that counts.
I think he needs a redo on that one.
Are they off work? What are these? It's Monday afternoon.
Yeah, they're taking the day off to get married.
Okay.
It's butted over the screen, and that's strike 1 to Kinsler. Kinsler doubled in the 1st inning. He's 1 for 2. Well, you shouldn't have to work if you're proposing, right? No, nobody answers.
That sounds like the great debate going on.
No one answers these questions. Fly ball to right. Mark Krause comes in. Just nothing but silence. That's out number 1. And Beltre will be coming up next.
That started with the standard kiss too, with the
yeah,
kiss inning, and
it did. It started with kiss cam and evolved into a marriage proposal. Well, with that double, first time up, Beltre has passed Jeff Bagwell on the all-time doubles list with 489. 66th place. Mickey Vernon of the old Washington Senators, and that's appropriate because the Rangers were at one time the Washington Senators. Well, he's next up on Beltre's list.
See who's been passed on that list? Mel Ott.
Oh boy. Well, we talked about it the other night, the first night of the series, Ash, with Beltre, that he is on a Hall of Fame path depending on how many more years he plays and whether he continues to play at this level.
Yeah, he has not had a messed up career to this point. He's loading it up with gold gloves and a lot of praise as being the third baseman in the American League. A lot of times people ask the question, was this guy ever the best at what he did?
Fly ball deep to left field, headed for the wall, and that one will be fielded by Robbie Grossman. It came up short, and he comes in with a double as Beltre has his second of the game. The 26th double of the year. Looked like that ball was better hit than that coming off the bat. Let's see.
I think this must have been right off the end of the bat. Good swing. Ball not really drilled, and then the defense got shabby at this point. I don't know if Beltre was going to come. Hard to say watching him come around first base.
Well, there's Ave Maria again, Ash.
Well, he's 2 for 2 on the game, so why not?
Luciano Pavarotti singing once again for A.J. Pierzynski in our wacky walk-up selection. So whether he selected it or not, he's 2 for 2 with it with an RBI.
If he winds up with a game where he gets 3 or more hits, I don't think see where he has any choice for the rest of his career but to go with Pavarotti.
All back for strike one. AJ was born in Bridgehampton, New York. Went to high school at the famous Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando, Florida, where he listened to Pavarotti every day.
You sure about that, or are you just dishing us some stuff?
I made that up. There's a shot, one hop. Dominguez checking Beltre at second, throwing out Pierzynski. And look at the pitcher Oberholzer winding up at third base with some hustle. That's out number 2.
This ball hit more sharply than the 2 base hits by Pierzynski on the game. Just proving that there is no justice in this game at times.
Except for Richard, that is. Richard Justice.
Richard Justice, one of the best at what he does.
He's in the game. And did you see on that replay that Oberholzer was sprinting right off the mound toward third base to cover third when the throw went over to first?
Got his head in the game, doesn't he?
Yeah. Now it's Rios batting. Rios is 0 for 2. I think Oberholzer really looks like he wants to seize this opportunity to be a major league starting pitcher. Here's ball one. And certainly coming through the Atlanta system, as Brett did, can be daunting for a starting pitcher. As many pitchers as they have developed and what excellence they have at the major league level, keeping pitchers in the minor leagues. So he got a break when he was traded for Michael Bourne. 2-0, but then he had to take advantage of it. And in 2011, after that trade, he had been at AA Mississippi for the Braves and having a good year. Well, he went to Corpus and made 6 starts at Corpus Christi. He was 2-3 with a 5.27 ERA. Then last year, he was 5-3 at Corpus with a 4.21 and made 15 starts for Oklahoma City, 5-7 with a 4.52 there. Fly ball, lazy one outside the right field line. Wallace giving chase, and so the numbers were not all that compelling coming to spring training this year for Brett Oberholzer. He just turned 24. Still plenty of time to develop. An 8th round pick of the Braves in 08, and now his stock has risen very high compared to where it was a couple of years ago. He's been known as a guy with no real plus pitch, but above average command of all of his pitches. And he just seems to mix them together very intelligently. Foul back. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Rios. Yeah, most people really like what they're seeing of Oberholzer in his 3rd major league start. Remembering that he was a reliever when he first came up, and that was against Cleveland, his major league debut here, April 21st. He gave up a homer to the first batter he faced, Carlos Santana of the Indians. Inside ball 3, and then in that 2-inning relief stint, he gave up another homer to Drew Stubbs. He was sent right back down to Oklahoma City, back up in early July for 2 relief appearances, one at Texas, a good one, 3 1/3 innings, 1 run, and then back down again until late July. Swing and a miss there, and Rios is down on strikes. So Oberholzer against this perfect game bid of Yu Darvish, pitching well himself. 2-0 Rangers.
Combine business and baseball, or a unique space in which to hold your next event. With state-of-the-art meeting spaces, Minute Maid Park can surpass all of your needs. Call 713-259-8800 for more information. Don't forget to ask about softball games and batting practice. If you're going to face Darvish, you better take some batting practice.
Oh, goodness. Brandon Barnes leads it off. 15 straight have been retired by Darvish in this game. Perfect game through 5. He throws strike 1 to Barnes. Barnes struck out leading off the 3rd. Now you can schedule batting practice in a hotel lobby against Darvish and not do any damage. Popped up. Pierzynski almost hit the home plate umpire while discarding his mask. Ball is out of play. Except for that guy.
Julian Morales getting involved in a little dance skit.
I'm safe nowhere in this ballpark.
You're going to be on Dance Fever pretty soon. You and Orbit.
Orbit is the best dance partner. I'll give him that.
Have you seen Orbit's little routine on the big board before the games?
The flash dance?
Flash dance,
fantastic.
Yeah, it's very good. To the song Maniac, which is Ash's favorite. Struck him out. That's strikeout number 11.
Wow, a couple of breaking balls to start it, and then just slips the cheese right on by. Now this is masterful. You're looking for the breaking ball. You've seen a couple already. They've been really good. He doesn't need it. Yeah, I want to know who got in that costume and did that dance routine you referred to.
I thought it was you.
Well, don't put too much money on that bet.
Jake Elmore hits one to center field. Martine back. That's out number 2, getting that one on 1 pitch. So he's at 75 pitches in the game, still perfect through 5 2/3 with VR coming up. The official scorer has changed the ruling in the top of the inning on Beltre, changing his double to a single and an E7 on Grossman.
I'm good with that call.
Robbie dropped the ball, and Beltre had that little hesitation, as you might have noticed on the replay, before going on to second. Didn't figure in any scoring. And now Jonathan VR. VR struck out in the 3rd inning. Showing Buddy takes strike 1. The career high for strikeouts for Darvish in a game is 14.
Of course, the Astros as a team have struck out more than any other club this year, and the number of double-digit strikeouts for the club is sky high. But I was wondering just a moment ago, what is the earliest point in a ball game at which they have struck out into double digits this year?
Not sure about that. This could be it.
Yeah, this afternoon, final out of the 5th inning, got to 10.
Now 0-2. 1-2, and ironically, with high strikeout numbers like this, that can actually hurt a pitcher who's trying to pitch a perfect game.
No doubt. Problem is if you're a manager and Darvish gets himself through, say, 7 innings and is approaching 100 pitches, you can squirm all you want, but how do you take a guy out?
And Wash was squirming April 2nd with that, because Darvish's pitch count was higher than Wash wanted, but he had a perfect game going, so he immediately pulled him after 8 2/3 when that perfect game was broken up by Marwin Gonzalez. 2-2 now to BR. And that is not strike 3. Pierzynski was headed for the dugout. Ron Culpa did not call it a strike.
That was get up and fire in time. Love to see up at the front of the plate there where that one passes. Well, Ron Culpa is gutsy to not give that on a guy dealing along with a perfect game.
He is. And now it's ball 4, and now AJ gets right in his face because of the previous call, and he's out of the game.
Oh, that's just wrong. Just wrong. Umpires become bigger than the game.
And Ron Washington has lost his starting catcher, AJ Pierzynski, and the perfect game bid is gone. 17 straight had been retired by Darvish before the walk to VR.
Clearly ball 4. The pitch before is the one that Pierzynski wanted, and no doubt he said thanks for blowing the perfect game here. And then says, where was the magic in that refrain? That's a charging umpire. That's an umpire who wants confrontation. Who is the aggressor in that duo? That's just wrong. Yeah, you're the one. Well, take a look at the video.
Pierzynski with 100 consecutive errorless games, tossed from this one. And now the backup catcher, Giovanni Soto, comes in. Darvish throwing a few pitches to stay loose as Soto settles in behind the plate. Soto was the catcher yesterday in Texas' 6-1 win, the complete game win for Martin Perez.
How many no-hitters in the history of this game have been thrown with more than one catcher behind the dish?
That is really a question. Very good question. Don't have the answer. VR on with the walk. The Astros had 24 steals since July 27th, the most in the majors. VR has 10 in 13 tries. Grossman has struck out twice. Little lob toss over to first. Base runners are so very precious with Darvish on the mound. He's averaging just under 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. He has already struck out 11 in 5 2/3 today. He's averaging 6.3 hits per 9 innings. Second best figure in the American League. No hits today for the Astros, and a 2-0 lead for Darvish, shooting for win number 12. Strike one to Grossman, keeping in mind that the All-Star break came later in the season than many years. Darvish had more strikeouts prior to the All-Star break than anybody in Rangers club history, and the most in the majors since 2002. In for a strike, and Grossman falls behind 0-2.
Looks like Yu Darvish took a little umbrage at maybe some of the recent calls. That fastball up to 95.
There is pressure on the home plate umpires, certainly, with a perfect game underway by the pitcher. And that's what came into play with Pierzynski arguing that pitch earlier in the count. The 2-2 pitch that was called ball 3. Runner going, and the ball is dropped. Soto couldn't get possession of it, and it's a steal by VR. His 11th.
Just like that, the Astros with a base hit here can put a run on the board. VR is going to run. This is just what he does, and he creates problems for the defense.
Just got a release that left-handed reliever Wesley Wright has been sold to Tampa Bay by the Astros. And right-handed pitcher Philip Umber is being promoted from Oklahoma City to Houston. Wesley Wright going to the Tampa Bay Rays for cash considerations. Umber will join the Astros in Oakland tomorrow night. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'll say this, Joe Madden has had a track record of taking guys that maybe weren't tearing it up and then turning them into very successful pitchers, players, whatever.
Great point, Ash. And he loves to wheel and deal with those relief pitchers. A lot of one-batter performances there. VR takes off for third. There's a grounder, and it goes foul off the bat of Grossman. So VR's doing what he can do on the bases now.
Let's go back and see that pitch that was debated by A.J. Pierzynski. From the front, obviously it's close. Is it low? Is it there? Front of the plate. Look there at the knees in the front. It is below the knees. And so, as it turns out, it would appear, at least from that side view, to be a good call.
And a swing and a foul tip for a strikeout. That's number 12. And the no-hitter remains intact for Yu Darvish through 6. Also a 2-0 Ranger lead without Brzezinski. In Oakland, and tomorrow's pitching matchup is brought to you by Chevron. Care for your car. Jordan Lyles on the mound. First career appearance against Oakland. He draws 14-game winner Bartolo Colon. Colon 3-0 with a 1.89 ERA against the Astros with a 2.75 ERA for the season. Terrific year for Bartolo Colon, and Jordan Lyles is 4-6 as he opposes Bartolo tomorrow night. Lyles on the bench as Oberholzer works inning number 7, trailing 2-0. He's allowed 5 hits. First pitch here is strike 1 to Baker, and Oberholzer's game is being greatly overshadowed by Darvish, who has a no-hitter through 6. Ground ball to shortstop VR. 1 out. And meanwhile, Oberholzer, who gave up 2 runs in the first inning, has been very effective in his own way.
Yeah, you take this anytime. Problem is, he's up against a steamroller.
Greg Gentry is struck out and flied to right. Takes that for ball 1. Trevor Crowe, the outfielder, has been reinstated from the disabled list. He's been optioned to AAA Oklahoma City. He just completed a rehab assignment there. He'd been on the DL with an AC joint injury in his right shoulder. 2 balls, no strikes. Rangers' record over the last 5 seasons, .567 winning percentage, is the second best in the majors behind the Yankees over the last 5 years. Three balls, no strikes. Jackie Moore, the bench coach for Ron Washington. Dave Magadan, the hitting coach there. Mike Maddox, the pitching coach. All have worked together well for many good Rangers seasons recently. 3 balls and a strike. And when they go back home, they'll draw Milwaukee. Tomorrow night, Alexi Ogando against Marco Estrada, and then Matt Garza and Tyler Thornburg. On Wednesday, they have an off day Thursday. So an 8-game homestand. The Astros coming in for the final 3 of that. Seattle will be there for the middle 3. So 3 more opponents coming up for Texas under 500. And they are making some hay right now. Their schedule will turn tougher when they get to September, and Oakland's will turn easier. Punched, and there's a good play by Wallace, who juggles it a bit but gets to first base ahead of Gentry. Good positioning, allowing him to be right there and let his hands make the play for out number 2.
Brett Wallace just continues to pitch, or Brett Wallace, Brett Oberholzer continues to pitch great baseball. He attacks the strike zone. He has been outstanding.
He's at 94 pitches, as you see. Jurickson Profar has walked and fly to center. Oberholzer began the season as the 20th ranked prospect in the Houston organization by Baseball America. Strike 1 to Profar. The Rangers are 8-1 here at Minute Maid Park. Their only loss here was on opening night. Past a diving VR into left center field. Barnes over to make the pickup. Big turn at first by Profar. He's on with a 2-out hit.
He's got some range. He is yet to really land many of these really tough plays to one side or the other to see how he does in terms of that athleticism. But you know, with his wheels and his just general athletic ability, he's going to make a bunch.
Josh Fields is warming up for Houston. Throw going over to first.
Okay, Brownie, I've just taken a look through the history of no-hitters in Major League Baseball. And to my accounting, since 1900, modern baseball, I've found 3 games that had more than one catcher.
Interesting. Strike to Martin. And how many no-hitters have we had? Well over.
Oh goodness. If you go all the way back, the list of no-hitters says 281.
Okay.
Now that goes back into the 1800s. Tim Lincecum with the most recent of the no-hitters. Of course, Homer Bailey had the 2 previous to that.
And you say 3 have been caught by more than one catcher.
That is the way my eye picks it up without just going crazy over looking at this list of names.
Okay. Sounds like you're kind of going crazy over it already.
Kind of getting there.
Runner going, line drive, headed for the left field line, but the runner is deked at second base, and he's not going to advance. He went head first at second base. Martin winding up with a single as Profar does not advance to third on a sharp single through the left side.
Now, the Rangers are winning, and they've been winning a lot of ball games, and that provides guys the opportunity to smile and not feel a whole lot of pressure, but not very good when you can get deked to this extent. It's 2 outs. Pick up your third base coach. Head down. Stuff happens like that. At this point, take a glance.
Good job by Jonathan Villar to act as if he was receiving a throw, and so Profar went in head first. Meanwhile, the ball went into left field and he stayed at second. Oberholzer now has reached 98 pitches. Elvis Andrus, a right-handed batter, coming up, and that's going to be it with right-handed pitcher Josh Fields coming in. Texas 2, Houston nothing. Back in a moment. Through 20 first pitch strikes and 28 opportunities. He leaves after 6 2/3 innings. The crowd very appreciative. He is up against a very difficult game by Darvish, who has a no-hitter through 6, and Oberholzer has kept his club right in it.
Yeah, he deserves that round of applause right there, and maybe more. This is a very auspicious beginning to a starting career for a young lefty.
Now Josh Fields comes in facing Elvis Andrus. Andrus is 0 for 3. Fields is 1 and 2. His ERA 7.59. He inherits 2 base runners. Fly ball center field to Barnes. And on 1 pitch, Fields puts out the fire in the 7th inning with no runs, 2 hits, 2 men stranded. It's still 2-0 Rangers. Here we have the 7th inning stretch, and we have Darvish, who has thrown a no-hitter through 6.
Breaking balls all over the place. Fastball spotted well, catching hitters off guard when he does bring it. He'll put it on the corners. It's just been classic Darvish once again. The Astros hitters are not having a jolly time against him this year.
He has a 2-0 lead. He has a new first baseman as well. Mitch Moreland coming in to play first for Jeff Baker. As Ron Washington goes to his defensive specialist at first. And with the 2-0 lead and the no-hitter underway for Darvish, he now has a new catcher since the game began in Soto with the ejection of Pierzynski in the 6th. And now to the 7th inning for Darvish, who has struck out 12 and walked 1. Mark Krause has struck out, and he's flied to left. It's in for a strike.
I think it's kind of fun to look back on some of the games and talk about these 3 games that I can find since 1900 that needed more than 1 catcher to complete the no-hitter. But the most recent one, and it's kind of timely with the Astros heading this evening out to Oakland. Ray Fosse, outstanding catcher, longtime broadcaster now with the Oakland A's, was involved in the most recent of those multi-catcher no-hitters.
Oh, was he?
1975. He and Gene Tennis. Tennis was the starting catcher and worked 6 innings, and then Fosse was summoned from the catching bullpen. And that was actually a game that saw the A's utilize 4 pitchers. Pina Blue started Glenn Abbott, Paul Lindblad, and Raleigh Fingers to close it out. 2 innings for Fingers.
So a little more understandable that there would be a catching change with multiple pitchers involved.
Yeah, I think that's certainly more understandable. The one prior to that was with the Chicago Cubs. Ken Holtzman with the first of his no-hitters. He threw it to Bill Heath and Gene Oliver.
Fly ball over shortstop. Andrews going back. Gentry calls him off and makes the catch. And that could have been a disastrous outcome for the no-hit bid.
And you don't know if it was an injury or an ejection or whatever. Bill Heath 7 2/3 innings, and Gene Oliver maybe a matchup righty versus lefty catcher. Gene Oliver came in for an inning and a third. Can you do that? Can you match up a catcher righty versus lefty?
Well, you could, but pretty unconventional. They avoid the collision. Gentry takes it. Now Brett Wallace, he has struck out both times today. Question coming for you though about being a catcher in Soto's shoes and coming into a game like this with a no-hitter underway. And it's toward the line and left. Gentry with a good jump. This is where the outfield coverage pays off for Ron Washington.
In Gentry in left field, you've got a quality center fielder playing there. So he's a guy if you're a pitcher, that you love having covering that portion of the field. He can move and he gets great jumps.
Now 2 outs and it's Carter batting. Carter is flied to right and struck out. So if you're Soto and you're called into a game and your pitcher has a no-hitter going, how much into that game have you been?
Yeah, I think that could be really tough. Soto appears to have probably gotten by the tough part. I think once you catch behind a hitter or two, you probably settle in a bit. And you gain the confidence of your pitcher. He's no longer thinking about the new guy back there.
It's no balls, 2 strikes. Darvish appears to be totally unruffled, and that's the way he was even when he gave up that hit to spoil the perfect game here April 2nd.
The first of the 3 no-hitters that required more than 1 catcher is intriguing also.
Carter swings and strikes out.
Not a good swing at all.
That's 13 strikeouts, and through 7 Darvish continues his no-hit bid with a 2-0 lead.
Save money and have fun with Astros baseball. Whether you're treating your employees, hosting clients, or bringing out your church or youth sports team, we will create an experience your group is sure to remember. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com to enjoy special pricing and great benefits by reserving your group or suite today, guys.
Thanks, Julia. It's 2-0 still. The Rangers lead it. They have all 7 hits in the game. Josh Fields came in to end the 7th inning, and he got Andrews. Now Kinsler leads it off, taking ball 1. Ian had a double and scored the first run back in the 2-run first for the Rangers. Fields throwing ball 2. 18,712 the paid attendance for this finale of the homestand. Adrian Beltre is on deck. Giovanni Soto to follow. That comes in for a strike on the changeup from Fields, and it's 2-1. Josh saved the only game the Astros have won on this homestand. That was last Monday, the 2-0 win over Boston. Tap to third. Dominguez, strong throw. He gets Kinsler 1 out.
Maybe a good slot, Brownie, to talk about that first of the 3 no-hitters that required more than 1 catcher. That game was started back in 1917 by Babe Ruth. He didn't get an out in the first inning, and a fellow by the name of Ernie Shore came in, pitched the next 9 innings without a hit. It was a no-hitter, and it required 2 catchers, one named Pinch Thomas, the other Sam Agnew.
Strike 1 to Beltre. Beltre's 2 for 3. Well, yeah, Ernie Shore came in and he retired 27 in a row after Babe Ruth was tossed out of that game.
Babe just hungry for a hot dog or something at the time?
He was arguing a ball 4 call. Looked kind of similar to this game with A.J. Przinsky arguing a ball and strike call. No balls, 2 strikes.
So there's your 3 existing no-hitters that required more than 1 catcher.
Well, Fields, after that excellent outing, saving the 2-0 win, striking out all 4 men he faced, ran into problems in another game of that Boston series. And this one a foul ball. Wallace drifting over for it. It's out of play. Josh came in with a 5-4 lead in the 9th inning, and he wound up with a blown save and the loss, throwing a curveball that wound up being hit for a 3-run homer by Stephen Drew. Then in the opener of this series, he came in and gave up 2 runs in 1/3 of an inning. This fly ball over the second baseman into right center field for a hit for Beltre. A 3-hit game for Beltre. His average has bumped up since starting the day at 320.
Just a good hitter, and a dangerous one at that. Just dunk it into right center field.
Lefty Kevin Chapman is warming up for Houston. Giovanni Soto at 216 bats for the first time. He has 6 homers, 15 runs batted in for Soto. And it's ball 1 to Soto. Soto 1 for 4 with an RBI in this series. That was a double yesterday off lefty Dallas Keuchel. 2 balls, no strikes. The Rangers have won 12 of their last 13. Putting together quite a run. There is Chapman warming up. Their 68-50 record is very close to their best 118 game record in their history, which was 69-49 in 1999. 2 balls, 1 strike to Soto. This would be the best road trip in Rangers history if they win it. On trips of 7 games or more. Strike makes it 2-2. The Astros, though, will have Dominguez, Corcoran, and Barnes due up in the bottom of the 8th against Yu Darvish. Swing and a miss there, and Soto's down on strikes. Out number 2.
That high fastball from Josh Fields is very good. Now, not everybody's going to offer on this pitch, but when we have seen him bring that pitch and get a swing, we're just not seeing contact at all.
2 outs, and Alex Rios is 0 for 3. His 11-game hitting streak on the line. Fields drops a curveball on him, and it's strike 1. An excellent day for Brett Oberholzer. 6 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, walking 2, fanning 6. He threw 98 pitches, 69 for strikes. Through 20 of 28 first pitch strikes, and it's his 3rd straight quality start since joining the Astros rotation. Rios looks it over, and it's ball 2. Mitch Moreland is on deck. Yu Darvish has thrown 96 pitches through 7. 7 no-hit innings for Darvish, walking 1, fanning 13. Out to left field. Bobby Grossman handles it, and in the 8th, it's no runs, a hit, and a man left. Bottom of the 8th coming. Darvish tries to continue a no-hit bid with a 2-0 lead.
Celebrating 11 years with new low yearly prices. Watch every out-of-market game live or on over 350 supported mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere.
Those are the no-hitters pitched by Texas Rangers. Jim Bibby, Burt Blyleven, 2 by Nolan Ryan, and the perfect game by Kenny Rogers, the most recent no-hitter, July 28th of '94 against the Angels. Yu Darvish has a no-hitter through 7 today. Matt Dominguez leads it off in the home 8th inning. Dominguez has flied to center and struck out looking. 13 strikeouts for Darvish. And ball one is outside. Breaking stuff has been very sharp for Darvish today. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that's what he comes with on the 1-0. He's done it all day long. You can't really say maybe that feeling here late in the ball game that he's going to turn away from maybe throwing fastballs when he's behind in the count. He just mixes it up.
He threw 130 pitches against Detroit back on May 16th. Went 8 innings, gave up 4 runs in that game. A 10-4 win for Darvish. Jai-Jen Lowe is warming up for the Astros. Corcoran on deck. Barnes due up 3rd in the inning. In for a strike. 2-2. So Philip Humber rejoins the Astros tomorrow night in Oakland, replacing Wesley Wright, who was sold to Tampa Bay this afternoon. The appeal goes to first. Check swing call makes it 3 balls 2 strikes. Tom Hallian with the call.
Bat starts, and right in that range where wouldn't have been surprising to see a call. Well, when you've got a pitcher on the hill this late in the ball game with a no-hit bid, usually you'll see that call made.
8th full count for Darvish today. And fouled out of play.
That was a good swing by Matt Dominguez on the 3-2 breaking ball. One of the few we've seen. You know, Brownie, I'm not really sure what it is about the Darvish breaking ball and or fastball for that matter that makes life so tough on the right-hand hitters, but statistically it's a nightmare.
It certainly has been. That's strike 3 call, and whoa, that one just shocked Dominguez. Strikeout number 14.
You know, this one falls in the gift wrap category, I believe. That's well off the inside edge. I think even Darvish had to be surprised to get that call.
Now 14 strikeouts for Darvish, 103 pitches. Carlos Corcoran is 0 for 2. Second time Darvish has struck out 14 Astros this year in a game. High drive right field, way back Rios, and that one is the first hit, and it's a home run for Corcoran. Number 7. It's a 2-1 ball game. What a way to break up a no-hitter. After 7 1/3 innings, Corcoran takes him deep, and it's a 1-run lead.
Carlos Corcoran looks like he's just come up with a game-tying or game-winning home run. This is big, though, to shut down the no-hit bid. And takes a fastball out over the plate. Darvish knew it the instant it was hit.
Big swing for Carlos Corcoran, and now it's a 1-run lead. Brandon Barnes batting. And looking at ball 1.
I think Carlos was also being timed for his best speed from home to home.
Yes.
As he went around the bags.
Barnes takes that pitch, and it's 2 balls, no strikes.
I think Carlos Corcoran has had one of those seasons as a backup catcher that is among the best you'll see. I mean, he's been really good.
7 home runs, 16 runs batted in for Carlos.
It's not like the numbers are gaudy, but just the work he's done behind the plate and big hits he's had from both sides of the plate.
That's his first homer since July 24th against Oakland. Strike to Barnes, 2-1. Well, you talked about how difficult right-handed hitters have found it against Darvish. The switch hitting Corcoran, getting the fastball, batting left-handed, hit it out. After a lot of effective breaking balls against these right-handed batters today. Now back, and it's 2-2.
Once again, great composure from you, Darvish. Twice seeing no-hit bids, won a perfect game getaway late here against the Astros this season, and he is just as calm as can be.
And the home run gives the Astros catchers 19 combined homers. That's tops in the American League by a catching staff. 3 behind the club record for catchers. Barnes is down on strikes. That's a 15th strikeout for Darvish.
Well, that slider just becomes as close to untouchable as any pitch you'll find around Major League Baseball for right-hand hitters.
Career high strikeouts. Oh, topping his 14 strikeout game here, April 2nd. He has number 15 here. Right-hander Tanner Shepard's warming up in the bullpen. And Jake Elmore, the batter. He's 0 for 2. Looking at ball 1. And it might be the thinking long haul. Now that the no-hitter has been broken up with a 1-run lead, Ron Washington will make a bullpen move after this inning. 110 pitches so far for Darvish. Usually would be Joe Nathan in a save situation, 2-0. So perhaps Shepard is warming up just as long as the 8th inning is still in play. And then Wash might get up Nathan. We'll see how it plays out. One thing's for sure, it went quickly from a no-hit bid to a 1-run ball game.
There was that possibility in the 6th inning as well.
Sure was. 2-1. Jonathan Villar drew that walk in the 6th inning after 5 2/3 perfect frames for Darvish.
I was about to say, Villar, after stealing 2nd, tried to steal 3rd. Not so sure if he had stolen 3rd that he was going to stop there.
That's up around the left shoulder of Elmore. And a 3-1 count for Darvish. You see the pitch count. Only 9 in that 7th inning. He got a 1 pitch out when Wallace hit the fly ball to left field in that frame. That's called strike 2. Full count to Elmore, the 9th full count for Darvish. Rangers have Moreland, Gentry, and Profar due up in the 9th. That's a fly ball out to left center field. Gentry going for it. And the center fielder moves over. Martin in front to make the grab. Corcoran's home run makes it a 1-run lead. 2-1 Texas through 8. Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. It's a 1-run lead now as those people are going places. Everybody here interested in this game. 2-1 Rangers, top of the 9th inning. It was 2-0 with a no-hit bid going 7 1/3 for Yu Darvish. Now Chai-Jen Low will be pitcher number 3 for Bo Porter today.
Shown a very good arm since joining Houston. Left-hand hitters hitting 143. Not sure I see the logic there yet. Not enough innings, just 4. But he's got one of those arms you could actually see pitching in the back end of the bullpen.
Yeah, he's been effective in the mid-90s as he's come in for those 4 games with the Astros, starting July 31st at Baltimore, the most recent outing in the Boston series. And that was the 7-5 Boston win coming on Wednesday. He went an inning and a third. He came in with 2 men on, not allowing either of them to score, protecting the 5-4 lead in the 7th inning. Then the Astros lost it after he left, but as far as his work, it was very, very good. He now begins the 9th inning of work with lefty hitting first baseman Mitch Moreland in this 2-1 ball game. And Moreland took over defensively for Jeff Baker at first. Now this is his first at bat of the day. Taking ball 1. Josh Fields working an inning and a third today, allowed 1 hit, no runs with no walks and 1 strikeout. 245 for Moreland, 16 homers. He's driven in 45. He's had 339 at bats. Moreland fouls it back. 1-1. Yu Darvish has had quite a day of it again here at Minute Maid Park. Looks like the end of the line for today for Yu Darvish, leaving the bench after 8 innings of 1 hit, 1 run baseball, walking 1, fanning 15.
Very talented young pitcher.
Moreland hits that one out of play, and it's 1-2. Darvish in line to be 12-5 by the end of the day, and his 15 strikeouts have put him at 207 for the season to lead the majors. Quite a milestone for a pitcher, 200 strikeouts in a year. Last year he struck out 221 in 191 innings. Foul back to keep the count at 1-2. Darvish threw 115 pitches, 74 for strikes. Joe Nathan warming up. He was 18 for 26 in first pitch strikes today. Moreland on a foul tip strikes out. Strikeout number 8 for Astros pitching today.
Well, there's that fastball running away on the left-hand hitter. This guy's an intriguing acquisition for the ball club because he could become one of those guys, if he can stay healthy, that could pitch successfully in the back end of the pen.
Greg Gentry up the middle, smacks a single into center field. Gentry is now 1 for 4. Hit number 9 for the Rangers. Jerks and Profar will follow.
Back up the middle. It is often sought after, and once you can do it, boy, you can come up with a lot of base hits. Pitcher just has a hard time getting leather on it, unless you're talking about shoes.
Profar singled in the 7th inning after walking in the 2nd. Rangers have been running off the 1-run wins lately. They are 19-10 in 1-run games. Throw back to first base in the dirt. Wallace picks it out. Gentry diving back in. The pitch, ball 1. Astros have lost 6 straight 1-run decisions. Low with a throw to first base. For the Astros in the bottom of the 9th, Villar, Grossman, and Krause are scheduled to bat. That's good for a strike, and it's 1-1. Final game of the season series here in this ballpark between the two, but 6 games remain in Arlington. Foul back, and it's a 1-ball 2-strike count. The Astros with rough sledding against the American League West. 15 wins, 34 losses. Have really had major problems against both the Rangers and Oakland. 2-10 against Texas, 1-11 against Oakland. Oakland the next destination, and then it's Anaheim on the road trip. Flick foul off that rail in front of the dugout. Still a 1-2 count on Profar.
Of course, the last time the Astros went through Anaheim, they were on part of a 6-game winning streak, and that really the highlight of the season to this point. So they'd love to find a way to get hot on this West Coast trip again.
In tight, snap throw to first. Safe at first. Pitch ball 2. If Corcoran had been able to get it on the second base side of the bag, he might have had Gentry.
It's always tough with the right-handed first baseman. That glove on the left hand generally has to sweep back to the bag, but yeah, that was close.
Oklahoma City lost at Las Vegas 4-3 last night. Slicing outside the third base line and foul. Still 2-2. David Martinez gave up 4 runs at 4 1/3. He was the loser for Oklahoma City in the game last night at Cashman Field. Corpus Christi lost at home to Arkansas. 7-4 was the final there. Lowe and Corcoran are talking it over. Domingo Santana hit home run number 21 for the Hooks. Lancaster won a slugfest 9-8 at High Desert in last night's game. Quad City shut out Wisconsin 5-0 on that one. Profar takes, and it's 3-2. Santana at 247 now with 21 homers, 57 runs batted in, has an .813 OPS. Last 10 games he's gone deep 4 times. He came from the Phillies in the Hunter Pence deal. Big strapping Dominican-born outfielder. There goes the runner on 3-2. Fly ball backing Grossman in left. Robbie has it. Gentry back to first on out number 2. And Martin will be the batter. Rangers are season high 18 games over 500. And this one a 1-run lead with Martin trying to help them to a little bit more. Andrus is on deck. Joe Nathan has had terrific results this year. Ranger bullpen, one of the best around. Ball 1 to Martin. Darvish would be 3-0 at Minute Maid Park with a win today. His ERA in this ballpark is under 2. They're going again. Here's Corcoran's throw to Elmore and the tag, and Gentry is out to end the top of the 9th inning with no runs a hit. And now 2-1 Texas coming up for Houston in the 9th. VR, Grossman, and Krause. For Astros postgame live presented by MD Anderson, making cancer history. Joe Nathan in the game for the Texas Rangers with this 2-1 lead. Darvish with an unbelievable day. 8 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 15 strikeouts. One of those rare games. And now he turns it over to Nathan, who's 34 of 36 in saves with a 3-1 record, a 1.54 ERA.
Usually when you're facing the closer, you're thinking, well, this is going to get really tough. But when you're facing a closer coming on the heels of you, Darvish, maybe it's a break.
It might be a break. As good as Nathan has been. And it's VR to lead it off. Jonathan with a strikeout and a walk in this game today. Carlos Corcoran broke up the no-hit bid with a 1-out 8th inning homer off Darvish. Sitting by bench coach Eduardo Perez as VR leads it off against Nathan. Nathan has 4 of his saves against the Astros in his 5 outings against Houston this year. He's given up 1 run in those 5 innings. Saved the 5-4 win on Saturday night. Showing bunt, VR backs out of there, and it's ball 1. Nathan has allowed a batting average of 158, 4th lowest among American League relief pitchers. He delivers, and it's 1-1. Joe, 38 years old, born in Houston. Had Tommy John surgery in 2010, missing all of that year. Little chop. Beltre to his left, turns and throws to get him.
That is good third base play. Just aggressively getting to this ball. You can let the shortstop take it, and maybe he can make the play with VR going down the line. Hard to say. But there is just no doubt in what Beltre is going to do once he sees the ball.
The Rangers have had 22 one-hitters in their history. Bobby Grossman's 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs. That's in at 81 miles per hour for strike 1.
Starter curveball on Robbie Grossman. Words out from this left side of the plate. He's been slamming some home runs.
Nathan. 2 outs. And Mark Krause will be the batter. This would be the Rangers' first 8-game road winning streak since 2010 if they get this one today. Their road record would go to 36-26 if they win. Krause has struck out and hit 2 fly balls to left. Fred Wallace on deck. Eight career 30 save seasons for Joe Nathan. Ball 1 there to Krause. That evens it at 1-1. The Rangers had a 4-pitcher one-hitter in August of 2010 against Minnesota. Away, that makes it 1-2 for Joe Nathan. Oakland has won earlier today. A Texas win keeps the Rangers in a 1-game lead atop the AL West. Ranger fans standing and applauding behind their dugout. That's strike 3. And the Rangers win it 2-1. A combined one-hitter by Yu Darvish, who goes to 12-5, and Joe Nathan. The Texas takes an 8-game winning streak back home. Adrian Beltre with a 3-hit day. Nathan picking up save number 35. Ron Washington's club winning it. Rangers 2, Astros 1 today.